what have you seen? Because you didn't watch it. What have you seen?
A bunch of stuff I wish I hadn't seen.
Yeah, okay.
Dudes with beards doing a lot of dancing. A recreation of The Last Supper with genitals flopping out of undershorts. It was all stuff that I guess there were some sporting events as well tied to this,
right?
In some way.
I haven't seen anything about those sporting events.
Mm-hmm. It was disgusting.
Okay. So here's what's being said. What's being said is there was a golden calf on the main stage, and no explanation of it. There was a recreation of the Last Supper. And people have been saying that wasn't a representation of the Last Supper, but even the director, the guy who was the artistic director for the whole thing, said, I'm not the first one to use that image and to change it. I mean, The Simpsons have done it. Everybody has done it. Well, okay, so now we know that was the Last Supper. Then there was this picture of this woman with her head chopped off. And it was a very, fire and brimstone kind of thing, but that was about the French Revolution. Then there was a really interesting party that went on that seemed, I don't know, kind of pagan, but that was the point, they say. And then there was a pale rider that was dressed and carrying the Olympic flag. And he was on a pale horse, and he was dressed in pale armor, and he was riding the horse on the Seine. Now, let me first give a review of the opening.
Eden Pure is back with their famous Thunderstorm air purifier. It's their top seller air purifier that quickly destroys viruses, odors, mold, and so much more. With thousands of 5-star reviews, you know it works. Any smell will vanish after just a few seconds of the Thunderstorm being plugged in. Odors, litter boxes, trash cans, cigarette smokes, dirty diapers. Wow, I don't want to visit that house. The powerful Thunderstorm sends out O3 molecules that seek out and destroy odors. I have these in my house. They're great. The molecules go behind and under furniture. Nothing can hide from the Thunderstorm. Best of all, no filters to buy over and over again, saving you money. Start enjoying your home again and get several Thunderstorms. Right now, you can save $200 on an Eden Pure Thunderstorm 3-pack for the whole home protection. You get 3 units for under $200. Put one in your basement, bedroom, family room, kitchen, wherever you need the air to be clean. Go to EdenPureDeals.com, EdenPureDeals.com. Use the promo code Beck and save.
Celine Dion ended everything. And it was one of the most powerful moments I've ever seen. She sang, I don't know, some Frenchy French song about, if you only love me right now, that'll be fine, whatever. But it was powerful. And it was powerful because she conquered all odds. She was diagnosed with stiff person syndrome, where your body just stiffens up and you can't move it. And she was incredible. And they had her on the second level of the Eiffel Tower. They used the Eiffel Tower as a backdrop for much of this. And I've never seen the Olympics ever. I've never seen anybody do anything like what they did in Paris and making the entire city a stage. It was beautiful, powerful, cost them $150 million. So if it wasn't beautiful and crazy, outrageous in a good way, you would wonder what they did with $150 million. But I kept saying all the way through it, I cannot imagine what this cost to put on. I'm surprised it was only $150 million. Now, let's take the imagery and let's take it 2 ways. Let's take it as what the Olympic Committee said it was, that that rider in the horse is the god of the Seine River. That this was all about the history of France, which it was, and it had nothing to do with mocking Christianity. Well, I would say that you could read it that way. Absolutely. Like the horse, you could read it as the pale rider, or you could read it as, the spirit of the Seine. Fine. And I'm not going to argue about that. You could read it either way. But there are some things here that you cannot read any other way. One, the golden calf on the main stage facing the Eiffel Tower. There was a golden bust of the bull, and then there was the golden calf beneath that. It was never mentioned. Why? If you watched the segment with the Lord's Supper, it only was on the frame on the TV for about 2 or 3 seconds. Now, I want to show you that it's not just Christians in America and conservatives that are all upset. Could you please play the video that we got from, I don't remember what, one of the social services, where they're in France and they're watching it. And these are French people watching that scene. So even they were a little shocked by it. Maybe they thought it was funny, but their expressions show that they were also kind of embarrassed that that would be happening. The announcers never said anything about even that being a table, other than the runway has been fashioned from a banquet table. And then they passed over that scene. Well, that scene was carefully constructed to look like the Last Supper. There's no way you can deny that, the positions and everything else. However, it's all drag queens. So all of the apostles are a drag queen, and Jesus is a fat lesbian. And there was a child at the table. And if you look at a screen grab, you can see the man's behind her, his testicles are escaping and wandering about. It was truly horrifying if you look at it as the Last Supper. It is mocking God. And as I said last week, we are no longer chasing God out of the public square. That's been done long ago. We are now taking him bound and gagged to our public square, tying him to a pole and mocking him every day. That doesn't end well for any civilization. I don't believe that everybody had seen this. The director kept a lot of it secret. So nobody knew what everything meant or why it was done. But that was clearly done, as were the golden calf, to say that this is a pagan ritual. Now, the little blue guy, is the god of wine. He is also the god of the theater. Eventually, it's I think it's Dionysus. Dionysus. Dionysus is the Greek god of wine, which goes into France, but also of this. Of ecstasy, and they used to have rituals. This cult gathered around him, and it was a festival, which is said that this is what this festival was supposed to represent, which was really decadent and evil. I mean, let's just be honest about it. It was just evil the way it happened. In fact, it was so evil that in 186 BCE, the Italians banned this god and that festival. It was not good. So you can't just say that this is something that is, this is just the god of wine. He's also the god of ecstasy, and ecstasy without any shame. He is also the god that you would see on old theater marquees with the grapes over his head. He's also the god of the pagan theater. So he comes out to be served, and they have an orgy while there is a fashion show that was going on with men in dresses, and it was just all gender bender. It was basically that whole scene, and much of the night was, we reject all the norms of God. We object and will mock everything that people say is good, and we will mock those who are offended by this. I believe this was some sort of I'd have to talk to Rabbi Daniel Lapin to find out, but I'd like to hear his opinion on this, because I think that this was a pagan ritual that we just don't understand because we're too far away from it. But this is a gauntlet thrown down in France. Now, why would you do this? People would say, and I've heard them say, why would they do this to all the Christians of the world? There's almost, 2 billion Christians in the world. Yeah, but if your country was being taken over by Islamicists, and they were already on the streets saying how decadent and perverse of a society you are, why would you put that on full display? This was a gauntlet that was thrown down, and I don't think it's going to end well. So congratulations, Celine Dion, for taking that $8 million to stand up and sing. You were amazing. But the rest of it was highly, highly disturbing.